All right, let's do this. We got Swing for the Fences. I'm Holden with BigT and Mangone. Remember, hit the like button. Big T's here, so we're going up to 150. We need 150 likes if you're going to get any swag. Yo, Tony, I never knew this. I didn't know you were a ginger.
You should have known
this
that
happen?
Right now. Look at me.
When did that start?
I'm white. Real white.
Wow.
I go every time I golf, I burn. Like, it is what it is. I mean, you are what you are.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. What are you going to do, buddy? It's all right. You make up for it in gambling and DFS. Mangone, what's going on, buddy? Let's talk about this whole slate, gigantic slate. We got no Luis Castillo because the Reds game has been postponed. We got Peterson scratch for the Mets going up against the Marlins. Give me some of your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this is a fun slate. I think it's pretty clear cut. I'm excited to talk with Big T about it because I'm playing some more tournaments today. So I'm kind of excited to break it down with him. I want you at the end, Big T. I want you to hold me accountable. If I just sound too chalky, just let me know so I can make that adjustment. But I feel pretty good. And I do think in baseball, it's a great sport where we can stack guys at the bottom of the lineup, even if it's chalky, and get some 2% own guys. So I'm excited to really talk about this MLB slate with you guys.
What about you, Big T? Just give me some general thoughts. We finally have some pitching today. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, the pitching looks pretty good today. So a bunch of guys that we consider top-tier pitchers. We got some good matchups. It's a good baseball slate all the way around. I mean, a bunch of good offense, too. I like it. And how many games is it? What are we at? How many games?
We had a couple one taken away. Maybe, 12, 10, 11?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like 10. Because
I think we're down to 10. Because the Reds game is down. So that's where we are right now. Let's get to the pitching, guys. We'll start with you, Darvish. Then we'll get to the hitters and the stacks and everything else. But you, Darvish, Carlos Carrasco, Kenta Maeda, Blake Snell. These are the four big ones on Draftkings above 9K. We'll start with you here, Mangone, since you already talked about Darvish. You love him so much. Give me the rundown on those four names, Darvish, Carrasco, Maeda, and Blake Snell. The wind is blowing out at Yankee Stadium. 10 miles an hour.
All right. Yeah. Listen, I always like when the wind's blowing out, so that's always good for us. I just think you, Darvish, is like head and shoulders the best guy on the slate, pitching. I just don't see how you don't play him. I guess with Carrasco, you make the argument he has strikeout upside. You can argue the Pirates aren't a good lineup in general. They don't strike out a ton, but I guess the argument from an upside perspective you can say is, hey, the Pirates, they don't take a ton of pitches. They can get out quick. So if the K's are rolling, he can obviously just mow people down and have a massive game of getting 10 strikeouts. But I think it's really Darvish is the guy, especially with the wind blowing in. Seems like too good of a spot. We can't avoid it. Maeda, if you look at him, I mean, I'm not in love with the spot. I think he's fine. I think he's a solid tournament option, but he's not my favorite. And then Blake Snell, I'm just not going to mess with the wind blowing out right against the Yankees. And, he hasn't been, himself this year. He's been decent. He's had some pitch count issues where he hasn't been able to cap that upside. So I'm not too interested in Blake Snell there.
Hey, Tony, who's your SP1 here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to be you. But, I mean, there is a lot of options. I'm not as sold that it's 1,000,000% just all in you, just because, I mean, these guys at the top, we're seeing a lot better spots tonight than we've seen the last couple. But the good thing about you is he's just been so good. I mean, you look at the spot against a Cardinals team with a tiny, tiny total, wind blowing in, everything we want to see, even cold weather kind of. I mean, the weather looks like it's going to be in the 60s. By cold, I mean in the summertime cold. In the 60s, wind blowing in. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with Mangone. I definitely love it. I think you can get a little different with some guys just to get a cheaper price tag and different builds with offense. But clearly, he's number one. And clearly, if I can fit him on my team with the bats I like, which is usually pretty easy to do, honestly, because I always like some random bats that are cheaper. But, yeah, I mean, clearly number one for me.
Yeah, Jay Reed, Big T is my SP number one tonight. You're right. No doubt about it. Getting questions in the chat about that. So my SP1. So here's one thing. I do want to talk to you guys about Blake Snell. It's an interesting matchup because it's the Yankees. I think Luke Voigt's actually leading off tonight. We'll get to that when we start talking about their lineup. But Snell threw 3 shutout innings with 5 Ks, a couple of walks against the Yankees earlier. We get the wind blowing in. I think in this one, maybe how far can Blake Snell go is the question, because I'm not afraid to fade him tonight if we can figure out how to get him into 5 innings. T?
Yeah, I mean, I always like Blake Snell. I just worry about how long he can go. And honestly, I like the Yankees lineup more than most people will. Like, a lot of people get scared when they start rolling out these crappy lineups where guys at the bottom that aren't good. But even like the bet side last night, on with the bet side, they were all really against the Yankees because the lineup looks bad. I kind of like the lineup though. Frazier, I've talked about Frazier every day down in the 7 hole. Oh, we'll talk more about the Yankees when we get to the stacks, but I can't play Snell at this price tag. If he was like 7,500 instead of 9,500, I would love him. It's just, man, with you Darvish only 1,000 more, you got the guaranteed pitches, the good spot, and you don't have to fade the Yankees offense, which is never, I never like to go against the Yankees offense. So I think Snell is a pretty easy fade for me.
Hey, Mangone, when we're looking down just a little bit, you got Gonsolin with the Dodgers going up against Seattle last night. That was a wild game. Dylan Cease made a couple of tweaks to his mechanics. He's going up against the Tigers tonight, who outside of Jacoby Jones seem to be really struggling. We got Tanaka against the Rays. Talk to me about Daniel Ponce de Leon, though. If we're going to go with you on one side and the wind is blowing in, do you want to go the other way with that, Mangone?
Sorry, I'm muted. I think Ponce de Leon makes an appearance as like a guy to consider. I don't love the cheap pitching. I made him on my tiers. I made him my one of my value plays right at the pitching spot. I think he's in play and in the conversation, especially because of the weather. That's really what makes it. And on top of that, like the Cubs, I'm not a huge fan of the Cubs in general. So ultimately, I would kind of think that someone like Ponce de Leon, he's in the conversation. He's someone that you can definitely use in GPPs. If he's going to be lower owned too, I think that's an interesting way to get a little contrarian.
All right, very good. T, any cheaper options? We're obviously looking at Darvish at the top. Anybody? Give me 2 or 3 names that we can consider besides for Darvish, and obviously at a lesser price point since Darvish is at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly like a lot of pitchers tonight. I mean, at the top, like Dylan Cease, I always like him for some reason. Big projection, $2K cheaper than you Darvish, way cheaper, $1,400 cheaper than Carrasco. I like all those would be my clear 3 guys at the top. You Darvish, Dylan Cease, and Carrasco. But once you go lower, like I'm kind of interested. Like, how many pitches do we think this Dodgers dude goes versus Seattle? What's his? Let me pull this up.
Are you talking about Gonsolin?
Yeah, like is he? He's not going to go deep, right?
He went into the 5th. He's pitched 4 2/3 in 4 innings. Maybe he gets 5 innings tonight.
How many pitches though? You know?
I don't know. Let me go look that up.
So he went 63 and then 82. So yeah, I like that spot too. Last night this game scored a ton of runs. It was a really good spot. Tonight, Marco Gonzalez limits hard contact a little bit too. He throws those whifflers in there at times, and I don't like the Dodgers as much as I did last night. They were just like a total mortal lock. We were on that bet show, and we just were pounding the overs and the Dodgers and everything on there. So I don't know. I'll be interested when we get to offense to talk about the Dodgers spot because I don't like it, and I think Gonsolin, or how you pronounce his name, Gonsolin.
Yeah, just go with it.
Yeah, Gonsolin, however you pronounce this dude's name. I kind of like it. I mean, the Mariners have hit good for most of the season, but this is a good spot for the Dodgers for the Dodgers pitching. And I don't hate it. I mean, the price tag does feel a little inflated, which I think is why Mangone is so high on you Darvish, because a few of these guys, the price tag does feel high, even though the spot feels safe. So, yeah, I mean, and then we can talk about a few cheaper guys too.
Well, what about you, Mangone? Who's these cheaper guys?
Man, I mean, listen. So Darvish, and let me just be transparent. I'm playing more FanDuel tonight, so because of that, okay. I like Darvish way more. It's just easy to jam him in and make him your guy. It's not too.
That's
hard.
What I love about FanDuel, by the way. Like one of the things I love is that you could just play that pitcher, lock them in. If they crush, you just know it's mint on all your teams, and then you just got to find some stacks.
Yep, that's one reason I'm definitely stacking them up a little bit and playing a little bit of tournament. So I'm not huge on Dylan Cease. Like I get it, but it's not for me. I don't need to be going that route. Talked about Carrasco earlier. Let's talk about these like mid-tier and cheap guys though. So there was one, I'm trying to remember who it is. It was Nate Pearson. That's the guy. He's supposed to be a talented young guy, right? Like the talent's there. It'll eventually like come to form. And could it happen during the Orioles and then like the next game against a good team he gets shelled? Yeah, I mean that's definitely what could happen. He's a young pitcher, so I think taking a guy like Pearson is a really good option here against the Orioles. So I'll definitely look at him. And then other than that, like you can make a case for maybe Corbin Burns. The reason to make the case for him is, hey, the Twins, yeah, they're power bats and they're really good, but they have strikeouts in that lineup. So in tournaments, it could make some sense. Not in your cash games though, right? I wouldn't be going that route. I do think you're going to be paying a bit in cash games. You're going to be going to a Yu Darvish, and then you're probably going to look to as like your SP2. You're probably going to look at maybe trying to get in the mid tier with like a Ponce de Leon if you want to, really load up on the bats. But if you don't do that, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's like Carlos Carrasco is the safe guy or a Kenta Maeda, but starting pitching down low is really, really rough today, in my opinion.
That was the last guy for me. Maybe he's more of a cash guy, Big T, but Kenta Maeda, because he's going up against a Brewers team that has the 4th highest K rate. And Maeda's good for, 4, 5, 6 Ks, but he's really going up against a team that loves to strike out. And what did he do? He got over 21 DK points the last time he went out there on the mound. Any exposure to Maeda?
So the only thing I hate about Maeda, and they just had this matchup last week in Maeda, I kind of was on him, kind of didn't like it. I mean, so he went 6 2/3, but he still only goes 85 pitches. So all 4 of his starts, he's been in the 80s pitch-wise, which just doesn't. And don't get me wrong, he's been really good too. 20 points, 28, 13, 21. So he's been solid all 4 games. Good matchup. When you know your pitcher is for sure getting pulled in the 80s, it just hurts your feelings, especially when they're rolling along and you can play a guy. So like Yu Darvish, how many pitches has he gone? He has gone 104 his last. He's worked up each start, 73, 86, 93, 104. So I don't know. Like I like Maeda. I like the matchup. It's just, man, that price is pretty high for a dude that I know is only going to pitch in the 80s. I like the Pearson call, though. Everyone keeps talking about this dude being super talented, throws it over 100 miles an hour. But Baltimore – so what's the deal with Baltimore and Seattle? Like, both these teams supposedly suck, and they just crush every night. Like, they score 10 runs every night, it feels like. So we keep picking on them. I mean, Baltimore has pounded some good pitchers. Pearson is highly touted. I want to play him again. I look at him and I definitely want to play him. I just don't know if I can pull the trigger.
What's interesting about them too is that the Orioles is what I'm saying is they don't strike out very much. They're in the bottom 5 or 6 in strikeouts. They can also pop the ball. They got 32 home runs this season. So I think you kind of need to throw everything out that we thought a month ago when the season started or however long ago it was, and just start looking at what's going on now. Now, obviously, you're going to look at stats. You're going to go back at least a season, including this one. But why even think that about the Orioles? I mean, this is a new team now, and I think I've kind of adjusted my expectations that way. Mangone, real quick, have you given us all the pitchers on FanDuel that you're considering? Just Yu Darvish.
Definitely just Yu Darvish for FanDuel. DK, like I said, I'm trying to figure out who the SB2 really is. If you can pay up, sure. Like I said, I'm not really playing cash games today, mainly tournaments. And I'm going to end up probably like throwing a dart here with this like other guy, right? I'm going to look at this like 7K range. Probably looking at, I guess I just can't do Cease, man. I really think it's Pearson. I get what Tony's saying. I think it's him or Ponce de Leon. Maybe just load up on that game and just hope that game is like a 1-0 game. But I don't want to really mess around with too many pitchers at the top. I think it's really just Yu Darvish is clear cut the best guy on the slate.
You're not messing with Tariq Skubal in his major league debut. Is that what you're telling me? Neither one of you.
No, I've heard a lot of chatter about this dude. So how many pitches is he going to go?
He's only going like 3 innings, 50 pitches. Sure, could he get like 5 strikeouts against the White Sox? And maybe is that enough? Yeah, but also the White Sox could destroy him. And I made the mistake yesterday of not stacking up the White Sox, again, after they were hot. And they're a hot team. I'm not going to be, taking any pitcher against them right now. I'll take them. I'll take a pitcher when the White Sox are cold. But when the White Sox are hot, I'm not really looking to take a pitcher against them.
All right, guys, let's get to these games. And we'll start with the offenses. We got the Rays and the Yankees. And you start with Tampa Bay here. And they're going up against Tanaka. We talked about that being kind of a tough matchup for them. And on the other side of things, interesting lineup. You got Voit, Urshela, Hicks, and Gleyber Torres at the top 5, and then Gary the GOAT hitting 5th today. And it's on DraftKings, there's a couple of really affordable players on this list. Their implied total is just 4 because they're going up against Blake Snell. Big T, who do you like from this game, if anybody?
Yeah, so it's one of those games. There's a bunch of offense on the slate. You got 2 good pitchers here. Tanaka's always pitched good against Tampa. I don't love the Tampa lineup. Easy fade there. And then the Yankees, I don't want to pick on Blake Snell. I said I don't want to play him, but that was because of price and just he's not going to go deep. But I also don't want the Yankees against 4 or 5 innings of Rays pitching after Blake Snell because I don't think they're going to hit Blake Snell. They got a low total. I mean, they've had an over 5 total almost every day. Today, Blake Snell, they're only at like 4.2 implied. So if I was going to play anyone, I'd go back to my same 2 guys, Gary and Clint Frazier, down in the 5 and 7 as +1s or +2 against a lefty and against the bullpen. But there's better spots. The price tags don't stick out. This game is for sure a fade for me.
Mangone, you fading everything here?
I don't know. So I am curious to hear that Big T is not on the possibly attacking Tanaka, and I want to look into it more. But I think the Rays could be really interesting, right?
He's owned them though, like.
And you're not wrong. I just looked at it. I mean, I did look. It's like I think just the BVP I just saw. It's like 201 average. That was like the quick thing I saw.
It's one of those ones that's in my head though, where like he just every time destroys them. Yeah,
I have it right here. I'll pull it up again. I still have the link.
Yeah, look at that. He owns them.
I get it though. So here's the thing I like, Tony. Again, like this was my initial take until I heard what you said. The Rays, they're getting that good weather bump. The wind's blowing out to straight to center field. After that, we have this really good lineup. It's not the same lineup that you've had in the past, Tony, right? No,
this is a really good lineup.
I mean, it's better than what they've had in past years. The Rays have definitely are a better hitting team.
Joey Wendell in the 5-hole.
Joey Wendell in the 5-hole is tough. But
Austin Meadows. 6-hole?
Austin Meadows, and I guess you're right.
Well, yeah, I mean, 1 and 2 are pretty good.
Come on.
I mean, no, I know that. I'm looking.
Choi in the 4-hole, like, come on.
I like G-Man Choi. G-Man Choi is good, especially with the lefty spot, right? Because the one thing about
you got a low total, you got a bad offense against a pitcher that's owned them. Like, you're not going to Tampa.
Well, you have good prices on them, Tony. I mean, yeah, sure. At the top, Meadows and Low, they're a little expensive.
Yeah, we got good prices because you get Joey Wendell in the 5-hole.
I don't think it's as bad as you think. I mean, it's probably not the thing I'm thinking the more we talk through it. I don't think it's this stack that's going to break the slate. I don't know if I want a 5-man stack of it. I wouldn't mind maybe having 2 guys from it or maybe 3. Maybe that's how I do it, like a 5-2. I
don't mind that. Like one guy I could see playing is Kiermaier at 2,400 on DK.
Yeah, he's in the 8-hole. Like maybe do like a Kiermaier and Meadows or a Kiermaier and Low. Like maybe that's what I do if I
or even 3 of them. Play 3 of them. Just don't go full.
Yeah, I think full is wrong. The more we talk about it, I think you're right about that. But I wouldn't hate maybe taking shots. Again, it's Yankee Stadium, wind blowing out. You get that short left field porch and a lot of lefties. And listen, Tanaka, sure, he maybe has had his number with them, but Tanaka has always had a little bit of a home run problem. So that'll do it for me, though. I'm not on the Yankee side at all. I'll stay away. And I think there's other spots we can talk about then.
Well, let's go to this next spot because the Indians kind of woke up. You know, Jose Ramirez had a couple good games, 20 and 28 DK points last 2 nights. Lindor's starting to hit now. This offense is starting to pick up. They're going against Brubaker. He's going to end up going 3 innings. The Pittsburgh bullpen is in absolute disarray right now. And you see Ramirez, Lindor, Santana, Franmil Reyes. There's a lot of guys popping in this lineup tonight, Big T. Your thoughts on the Cleveland hitters, and then are we just don't even bother with the Pirates?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot. You look at it, Carrasco's one of the better pitchers. I like the Indians. The Indians have got it going, though, and I don't love this park. Again, as we do more shows, like I feel like I say the same things just because we're doing them every day, but Pittsburgh's one of these parks that I just don't like playing offense. I feel like there's never runs. I do like the lineup. I mean, you got guys like Ramirez and Lindor and Naquin, who I always play against right-handed pitching, and I like it. I just don't like the park. I hate playing. I feel like the winner never comes from this park ever, and it's in my head, but it'll probably keep me off the stack. Maybe it's kind of like a Tampa stack where I played Naquin. I mean, he's 3,500 against a righty. He could be like one of these +1s that I like to play. In Pittsburgh, there's no way. If I'm not playing Cleveland in this park, I'm definitely not playing Pittsburgh against Carrasco. So, yeah, I mean, this spot is ugly for me, so I'm probably going to be off.
Hey, the wind is blowing out at 8 miles an hour. That doesn't matter, does it? Because it's still Pittsburgh. It doesn't. And 8 miles an hour doesn't do it for me. And Mangone, we talked about Yankee Stadium, 10 miles an hour. I mean, maybe that makes a little bit of a difference too. You get the double digits, and Wrigley has it 13 in. I just don't know how much I factor the wind blowing out in the two places today where they are, Yankee Stadium and Pittsburgh. Definitely not Pittsburgh. I mean, what are we going to do? Add a half a foot to a ball? That ain't going to matter.
I do think it matters in Yankee Stadium a bit because that's the for sure. Not Pittsburgh. I'm with you. I'm not too worried about it in Pittsburgh. Listen, if you're gonna get a hold of that ball in Pittsburgh, it's gonna go out. So that's kind of how it works there. It's not like you'll hit a ball barely and it'll just like fly out. It's not like Cincinnati. Not like Colorado. So, yeah, I'm not too high on this Indians game. Pirates. Sure, I understand like the love for the Indians. They've been hitting a little better. And Lindor's obviously always a great guy to spend up on Ramirez. But I don't know. I'm not too high on the Indians. I know they've been hitting better. They helped Big T win some money the other day. I'm not going to go to them, though, I don't think.
All right, let's move off that one. I know there are some people on the Mets today. Huge implied total, 5.7. Now, on their side, Peterson, the rookie, was scratched. You got Oswalt coming in to pitch. But we're talking about offenses here. And they're going up against Humberto Mejia. This kid actually had a nasty outing. He went 2 1/3 innings. He struck out 6 of the 7 outs that he got. Okay, but again, we're not expecting him to go too deep tonight. And then you look at the Mets lineup. Cano hit 2 home runs. They were so much fun to watch last night, except when McNeil left because he hit his knee really bad, and then he fouled the pitch off his other knee. It was so painful just watching this guy writhe in pain. Anyways, Mets Marlins Big T. We got McNeil, Davis, Conforto, Cano, Alonso, Smith. I might lay an over bet on this one because the more I'm looking at it, the more the Mets offense looks pretty juicy.
So the last time we were on the show before this guy's start, I don't remember who was on it besides JT. And I talked this guy up just because of his price tag, and he crushed. And honestly, I might talk him up again. We got a really good park. I know he's not going to go deep, but it's that price tag that's the key. He's $5K on Draftkings. You don't need much from him. I always use the example, but if you get double digits, if you get 12 points from this guy and pair him up with Yu Darvish, you get so much more ability to go up with your bats that it makes a big difference. Sure, he could get blown up and he could really screw you, but I don't know. This park is really good for pitching, even though that they scored a bunch of runs last night. This lineup doesn't scare me all that much. I mean, the top of the lineup is really good. Cano has been the hottest hitter in baseball, which has been weird to see, and Dom Smith, for that matter, has been hot. So maybe the lineup does look better than I initially thought. You got a couple lefties up top. I don't love it, but I'm talking myself into it the more I look at the lineup. It shows how when you start talking about it, it does look better. I mean, you got lefty, Conforto in the 4, Cano's hot, Dom Smith. Like, those would be my 5. I would probably fade JD. I'd fade the 3 or 4 righties, especially Pete Alonso. Like, he needs to stop eating at the buffet line and work out a little bit or something. I mean, he's fat. Hasn't got any. He did hit a bomb last night, I think, but
I think he had 2 bombs, Tony. I mean,
he hit 2 last night.
I think it was 2. The chat can maybe confirm or Holden can.
Yeah, well, I'm still fading him. He's still fat, so I'm going to play the lefties. And I mean, I still don't hate the pitcher though. Like, say you were able to fit a really good stack, fit everything you want. You play Yu Darvish, and it only works if you can play a 5K pitcher. I'm not against it. I think he can grind out double digits for us tonight.
Hey, donkeys, would you hit the like button already? We're over 200, and we're over 200 viewers. We got 58 likes. I mean, you guys are slowing down. Pick it up, boys. You get some of the best information in the whole business here. Just tell us you like it. Go on the Miami side, Mangone, and you know what? Start with the Mets. Give us a little Miami primer, and then I'll get the big T on that. But you like the Mets, yes or no?
I'll say, like, they're definitely popping a bit. Like, right, people who like projections would love the Mets. I mean, their total's good. I don't know. I was thinking of just staying away. Isn't this in Miami too, right? Not the greatest ballpark. So I don't know. I'm not I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the Mets. I was kind of hoping Big T would be able to help me out with that one because I really don't want to play them. I have other stacks I like. I was talking to him pre-show too. I said, I'm playing more tournaments, and I just don't know if they're going to make the list for me. That's the one problem. Sure, they're a good play. I think in cash games I would get it. Getting some exposure to them is not bad, but I just think I like other stacks on the slate.
Well, Tony, we were talking about Miami. The bats kind of picking it up, and now there's not that type of chatter. It's slowing down, but they're going up against Corey Oswalt, and it's a very small sample, even going back to last year. But my God, he's a fly ball machine. He's given up 53% to left-handers or right-handers. Let me write it. Left-handers. 53% fly balls to left-handers. Are you kidding me, man? To right-handers, 42%. The hard hit rate is nasty. Oswalt's a bad pitcher. Do you think the Marlins bats are that bad to where we're not going to bother, or to where we could actually plug a couple in?
Yeah, I don't hate the lineup, but I like it way better against bad lefties just because you got a few guys in there that are way better against lefties like Jesus and Forsythe and even Brian Anderson and all these guys. So I can't do it in this ballpark. I mean, we're going to get to some really good offenses as we work our way down the list a little bit. So I think I'm gonna fade Miami for sure. Maybe I play a little bit of the Mets just because of the lefty power. But again, I try to stay away from parks. I know it might be bad overall, but I just don't play offense in these terrible parks, and it's worked out over the course of the long run. Sure, nights like last night happen, and there's big games here and there, but overall, it's just a tough park for offense.
All right, so I'm an idiot for going with the over in that game.
It's two bad pitchers in it. I mean, I don't hate the over. It's just the park does suck. I mean, what's the total? 9.5?
Didn't they bring the fences in too, and it still is
in Miami? They did.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like Big T, man. I'm a big ballpark guy, so obviously I care about the offenses too. But like I talked about, Holden, I was on that one show with you. I was talking about the Pirates, right? They go into Cincinnati and then they absolutely mash the ball. So I'm just more of a ballpark guy. And home runs are king in DFS, right? I don't love when I'm playing a team and they're getting me like the Braves the other night. The Braves, sure, they put up runs, but it wasn't a lot of home runs. There was a lot of 3s and 5s in my lineup. So I want to get those home runs, and the ballpark just ain't it for me.
Well, you brought up the Braves. Let's do it. Let's go. You got a couple good young pitchers here, and I want to start with Austin Voth. We didn't bring him up on the pitching side, but besides for last start, he had a really good start against Baltimore. He's keeping the ball down. He's keeping the ball in the park. But this Atlanta offense, first of all, you got the weather. It's always nice down there. They called the old stadium the launching pad, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and it stayed that way. The ball just – it launches, and they got an implied total of 5. Swanson, Freeman, d'Arnaud, Ozuna, just the top of this lineup is looking like it's primed to have a decent night. And then Washington's offense, too. They're at about 4.5 runs. Turner, Eaton, Soto, Asdrubal Cabrera, Luis Garcia hit a home run. Dude was born in 2000, by the way. Mangone, were you born in 2000? What year were you born?
No, I'm 1990, but I will say I used to work when I was in high school. I worked in college. I worked with kids, and I asked a kid one time, I was, when's your birthday? And he said the words 2000. That's when I first felt old. When I heard someone was born in the year 2000, I felt really old. That just reminded me of that.
Dude is born in the 2000s. He hit the first home run of anyone born in the 2000s last night. So now we all feel old. Mangone, which offense do you prefer, Washington or Atlanta?
Yeah, so I'm really torn on this game, and maybe it's because I have a sour taste in my mouth last night from it, because it just felt like guys kept getting on, and I wasn't getting the production I wanted. Obviously can't argue against guys like Trey Turner and Juan Soto. On top of that, we talk about targeting bad bullpens. Atlanta has a really, really bad bullpen. I'm perfectly fine with both sides.
Atlanta has a good bullpen.
I thought it was bad.
I think it's good.
I don't know. Let me pull it up. I'll check real quick and make sure once you talk about it. But
I'm pretty sure it's a good bullpen, but
I don't know. Well, we'll look.
I'm sure it depends on what you look at too. It doesn't matter.
I'm definitely more sour on this game, I think, because of watching last night. But there were guys on base, there were opportunities, and there's good hitters throughout. The other problem, like I said, we're gonna get the other spots that I like. If you tell me that this game is lower owned, I might gravitate back towards it, because I will admit I think I'm on a lot of chalk right now. That's my one fear. I think this game is interesting, but I want to get Big T's take on it.
Well, and real quick, the Braves, they have an interesting bullpen because their FIP, I'm seeing here, they're one of the worst teams in baseball in FIP, in WHIP, and then you look at FIP, and it's a lot different. So they got a lot of different things. They got extremes. They got some good numbers. They got some bad numbers. They don't have much in the middle. So that's where I'm looking at it. But
I'm seeing a lot of hard hits and stuff and high ISO. So it depends what you look at, I'm sure. Like in different whatever numbers you look at. Maybe it's last year and not just this year. So it depends what you kind of look at.
Which offense do you prefer if you're going in this game?
So with Washington, I keep saying the same thing, but like Soto, man, if you're not considering Soto as like a +1 every single night, you're doing it. The dude hits a bomb literally every night. You look at his box scores, you shouldn't be a box score watcher in baseball, but man, when he gets 16 every single night, like you have to take notice. You're basically getting a pitcher in your outfield spot. And then Asdrubal's been hot. My boy Asdrubal. Again, I know this is going to be a bullpen game for the most part for Atlanta, but it helps you. I mean, Tomlin is a contact pitcher. He's not good. Get one at bat against him. If Mangone's right about the bullpen, you get bullpen behind it. Either way, like Soto and Asdrubal stick off the page. And then you look like the dude, Luis Garcia. I mean, he's 2,300. So you get a nice cheap stack there. You could even throw in two of the other ones like Suzuki, Gomes, Thames. All these guys are cheap. So you're getting them very, very cheap. And it makes sense. I mean, it's a really good spot, I think. And then Atlanta, same thing. I mean, they're just explosive. You got D'Arnaud, who was a mega chalk last night, but he's cheap again tonight. So I don't know. I like both of these teams. I'll definitely have more Washington just because the prices and the upside with Soto. But 1, 2, 3 for Atlanta, like Swanson, Freddie, D'Arnaud, I love. I don't like Azuna, Markakis as much, Duvall. My problem with Atlanta is I just hate everybody after 1, 2, 3. Like even Ozuna, I just don't like that much.
It is a rough lineup. Like I was building that Brave stack yesterday, Tony, and I was like, okay, I didn't have the money because I was trying to jam the Dodgers in too, and I was trying to get the good pitchers. It didn't work, and I was like, man, I can't be playing like Austin Riley and John Camargo, and he was just playing too many bottom of the order guys. So it was a bit rough.
It's rough. Like it's Adam Duvall. Like these guys do so. You almost have to just close your eyes and click them if you're taking Atlanta.
Well, guys, here we go. The Doyers are probably going to be the most popular stack tonight. Their implied total is almost 6. I mean, my God. Bets. Corey Seager is crushing the baseball. Absolutely. They're so good. Bellinger's hitting 5th tonight at 5.6K on DK. They're loading up some right-handers near the top with Turner and Pollock, too. And Turner actually has some reverse splits. At least he did the last couple of years. He was hitting righties better. Anyways, with this game, Mangone, is this going to be the highest scoring team in the slate tonight?
There's a good chance it is. And this is like what I'm worried about with eating too much chalk. It's hard to ignore them, but I'm looking at this spot and it's like, okay, this is a 7:00 Dodgers game, right? And I'm a big like ballpark and weather person. This Dodgers park, it's 96 there. And like that park, it definitely plays different when you play it during the day. It definitely plays a little bit better. I think the ball could be flying out a bit. And again, Marco Gonzalez, he's like fine, right? But he can definitely have his issues. And I'm okay with attacking Seattle's bullpen too. I mean, that's obviously going to be great. And this lineup is just absolutely loaded. Like you get guys like, we talked about the Braves bottom of the order. If I told you avoided the 1 through, let's say you avoided the 1 through 4 on the Dodgers. You didn't play Betts, Seager, Turner, or Pollock. Would you be okay with having Bellinger, Taylor, Muncy, Hernandez, and Barnes? Like, that's a good spot. I mean, that's a really nice lineup right there of those guys. So you can get different with this Dodgers lineup. I think it's okay to eat this chalk in tournaments. Just don't be playing like the 1 through 5. You got to be unique with it, in my opinion. I mean, Tony.
I love that I'm rubbing off on you though. Like you hate the 1 through 5 now.
Oh, you are. And I will say this, man. If I wasn't doing as much cash stuff, I'd probably be doing more GPP. I do love the one lineup, but like I am getting a little more unique with stuff.
Baseball is so much better to play more than one lineup. I mean, I don't ever like go crazy with that recommending it, but it really, even if you do 10 teams or something, you have to spread yourself out a little bit in baseball. There's too much variance.
I agree. I mean, I have not been enjoying the one lineup as much. So I'm trying.
It's just hard, man. Like even if you build the right team, you could lose over the month. Like say you build optimal every day, you could still not win a single day. That's just how baseball goes.
Yeah, and I'm good. I pride myself in being pretty good at building a one lineup. Even in tournaments, like I know how to find the right pivots and stuff. But like I said, I'm trying to get a little more different with it. And I think the 3 lineup approach is always fun. And there's great ways to get difference with this Dodgers lineup. I want to get your takes on it, Tony. Though, like what are we doing here with these guys at the bottom?
Yeah, so I think I love the Dodgers because I can play them every night. And right away when I see the Dodgers, I know that my stack, if I'm playing the one team on the Dodgers, I know my stack will be different because my favorite 5 guys to play right away would be Turner, Pollock, Taylor, Kiki, Barnes. So I'd have 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. I would fade Betts, Seager, Bellinger, and Muncy, which is 3 lefties, but it's also 3 of their better hitters and Mookie Betts. So I'm going to play 5 righties, all that pound lefties. And I still got plenty of power, not to mention. I mean, Kiki's got tons of power. You got a cheap catcher in there in Austin Barnes. That stack just sticks off the page at me. 5 Dodgers, so you got the best stack of the night, but it's going to be a unique stack because of the way I stack it. 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. Like no one's going to have that besides whoever's watching this show. So how many people are watching right now? What is there? 231 people will have the chance to play that.
Are they chalk tonight? Or is there no? I got one
chalk,
team that I think is better.
Well, like it's definitely the other team you're talking about and this team. I mean, the Dodgers will get ownership. It's not like they're not going to get owned, but I will say this other team can help depress the ownership a bit. And on top of that, like the pitching could help depress it too, because I think everyone's going to be jamming in some Yu Darvish. So maybe that'll help us out, right? We're not going to have maybe a 50% Dodgers, something like insane.
Yeah, I don't know what the talk was about the Mariners last night, but my God, they went absolutely ballistic. I'm not feeling it today, though. Just not going with it. Gonsolin in a bullpen game. You know, on the other side, we got to mention, too, the Seattle bullpen. Think about how bad the Phillies bullpen is, and these guys are just about as bad. So there's another opportunity for the Dodgers to clean up. But then you have to worry with the Dodgers, are they going to lift some guys later in the game? I don't know. Yeah. Just bringing it up.
No, I agree.
It's always a point with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I think it's always a tonight is the Philadelphia Phillies. Their total's 5.5. I can't imagine my God, it's Zach Godley, man. This guy's a punching bag. And then you look at what this Phillies team can do to him. It just up and down the lineup, all the way from McCutchen down to Gregorius. I think 1 through 5, they can just smash. Jay Bruce is there. To me, this is I'm all in on the Phillies offense, and I got so much. A, Mangone, is it going to be the chalk? B, how much you love them?
Yeah, I mean, I do think they're going to be chalky. I do like this Phillies spot for them. I'm not a big believer in Zach Godley. He's a guy I definitely want to be targeting right now. So I'm in on this Phillies offense. It's unfortunate they're going to be chalky, and they have been really disappointing. They've been an offense I've kind of wanted to just like get away from, but Zach Godley's not a guy I want to get away from. That's one of the issues. The other problem I've been having when building lineups out is there's an offense later I like, and you know, I like Didi Gregorius. I like Rhys Hoskins. I think Rhys Hoskins, you know, has all of the good things, all the do factors going for him. He's hitting the ball well, all the hard hits and everything. But there's this other offense later that has a first baseman and a shortstop that I would want to look to get some exposure to. So I don't know. I definitely like the Phillies. I think I'm going to end up being at least even with the field or overweight on them, unless Tony can talk me out of it and rub off on me here again. But I think the Phillies are tough to ignore.
Yeah, and don't forget about the other side too, though. I mean, we're talking about a Boston team with a ton of talent. They're going up against Eflin. I mean, Eflin's coming off a nice start. He K'd 10 Orioles in that last start. But I think people, just because the Red Sox are so bad, they almost overlook their offense at this point, Tony. And their offense is pretty good, too. I mean, how much exposure do you think you'll have from Boston? How good is Philly tonight?
I kind of like Eflin more than the Boston side. He's looked pretty good. And I think he's got 2 starts. He's looked good, but man, Philly. So anyone that knows how I play baseball, I like streaks. I like hot teams. They just haven't done it for me this year. They just haven't been good. And they're going to be so chalky in this spot against Godley that I just like the Dodgers more. I like a few other teams that we're going to talk about more. Even like a team like the Braves in Washington, a little mixture of that stack I like more. I don't know, like on paper, it is a really good spot. So I get it. And I mean, I'm struggling with it because you should like it. But then you look at the lineup like Jay Bruce, Roman Quinn, Kingery's been terrible. bomb. I don't even know who that. By the way, the chat made fun of me about that freaking Angels guy, and he screwed me last night going 0 for 5, whatever that dude's name is.
Joe Adell?
Yeah, like that guy, he sucks. I'm so tired of hearing how good that guy is.
Next year, you're just going to be Joe Adell. Just hit the lock button.
Yeah, but we call this daily fantasy sports. It's not next year.
This isn't 2021 prospectus
he sucks right now, but I feel like you're saying he's horrible. He's not. He's a great prospect. He's just not there yet. Same thing with Baum. This guy can't even hit home runs.
Is this guy a big prospect too, Baum?
I wouldn't call him a big prospect, but yeah, they shoved him in the lineup. They got to start him. But I'm just looking at the Phillies. I mean, they're averaging a home run and a half a game. They're a top 10 team in that department, so they can still hit home runs. I get it. You've been burned by
I don't know where you go, though. Like, who do you feel good about? Hoskins, I guess. Like, Real Muto. I do feel good about Real Muto, but he's a $5,300 catcher.
Yeah, I mean, DraftKings is a lot tougher than FanDuel to stomach him. I'll say that, especially with the pitching. It's not the easiest. I'll say this, like, the more Tony, like, I'm talking with Tony about this, like, I'm not feeling the Phillies as much. Like, I don't know. I just don't want to play chalk Phillies that bad. Like, Bryce Harper's like the worst. I hate rostering him. I'll say that. He can be a frustrating roster. I don't know. I think in cash games, I get it. Like, it's hard to ignore what's going on there. But in tournaments, if you're telling me they're chalky and they're the chalkiest, I mean, it's good to look at some other spots and talk about them.
Just fade it. And you like FanDuel. You like a little Real Muto tonight, Mangone.
I mean, yeah. I mean, those prices on FanDuel are really good. I mean, McCutchen, again, McCutchen has been bad, though. I will say I have not been falling in that McCutchen trap as much as many other people. He's definitely putting up some numbers. And in cash games, right, you'll take like the 6, the 8 at 2.4K. But on DraftKings, you're not playing 4.4K Andrew McCutchen, right? Like, that's expensive for him over there. He
sucks. Like, I say this knowing, even if he crushes tonight, doesn't mean he sucks. Like, I don't want to play chalky Andrew McCutchen. Even on FanDuel, I love fading guys like McCutchen. Even if I was playing Philly, I would play anyone on the whole stack over him.
Like I would play Jay Bruce over Andrew McCutchen in my Philly stack.
Easily, right? like without a doubt. And McCutchen will be one of the highest owned people on the team just because he's in the one hole.
And I will say, like, if you look at his numbers, right, like this is a cash game guy eats this up, Tony. 16, 6, 6, 8, 7, 2, 7, 8. I get that. Sure, it's fine in cash games.
And you don't want no 8 in tournaments.
I don't want an 8 in tournaments, especially a chalky 8. Like, oh, that sounds so terrible. But cash games, sure,
is like he's a new man here. Like, I'm getting excited.
I'm trying to embrace the variance a little bit today. I told you I'm doing more tournaments today. I'm excited.
So
I'm trying
disappointing.
to take down all the money.
I mean, Big T's playing mind tricks on you, man. He just talked you out of like at least $6, okay, of winning.
Hey, that's okay. The little double up. We got the double up looking good in NBA right now, so we're happy.
Oh man, you're easily swayed, Mangone. Easily swayed.
Our Miami guys are looking real tasty in the NBA.
I think you meant the Miami Marlins.
No,
I was gonna say I'm not on that. I'm not in that category. I will say though, someone in the chat just said it. Like, Godley sucks. Like, and I agree. Godley is not good. Like, I definitely want to be attacking him. So if you're on it, sure.
He's not going to go super deep, anyways. Though, I don't know. Like,
you know what? It makes sense to fade it just because it's going to be so popular. And there's other teams.
That's just the reason in tournaments. We're giving the tournament reason. Cash games, like there's reasons to play Rhys Hoskins, like Bryce Harper, pay up for him. I will say, do you want to pay for Bryce Harper? Or do you want to pay for Mookie Betts or Cody Bellinger? Right? Do you want? I'd rather pay for these Dodgers than Bryce Harper.
Yeah, like clearly. And people need to get used to it too with baseball. Just because we're saying to fade it doesn't mean it's not a good spot. You got to play ownership. You got to play leverage. You got to shift things up. If you just play the best stack every night, 1 through 5. You will not profit in baseball. I can almost guarantee you. You have to leverage the field.
No doubt about it, guys. Again, we got 90 likes, so we need 60 more in about 15 minutes or so. I don't think they're going to get it. I'm going to challenge you. If you're sitting there right now, all you got to do is hit the like button. That means one of you is going to win some Run Pure Sports.
I'm going Friday, too. I'm going Friday to FedEx to ship out this next shipment.
Right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my boy Holden one this week.
What's that hat you got on? Is that Holy Cross?
Yeah, it's a little Holy Cross.
A little Holy Cross hat?
That's where my brother went. I'm representing. That's where Uncle T does things down at old HC.
Now hold on just a second, because I'm still confused about this Uncle T. Is that you are Uncle T, right? Like that's your alter ego, or is there actually an Uncle T?
There's actually one, but yeah, I mean, he likes winners too. Winners win.
See, I can't tell. I mean,
people always think it's me. We got to get him on a show so people know there's actually another human.
He's on the show. He's been on the show or no?
I think he's done one. I think
he did a PGA pod. I know he did a PGA pod for sure.
Yeah,
so.
we got to get him on camera. I mean, he gets a little nervous. He gets a little camera shy. We got to get him on.
How can you be nervous with this crew? There's a bunch of jabronis. Come on.
I mean, if we had more than 15 minutes, I'd send him the link right now and get him on there.
All right.
I'm here. I'm here for the Uncle T. Give me the Uncle T, the Big T, and the Cousin D, the Big D show.
The Big D from the earlier show.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. I think Toronto's going to be really popular tonight. Implied total right around 5. Biggio Grichuk hit a big home run last night. Lourdes Gurriel's in the lineup. What's going on with Big Daddy Vladdy? He now has 2 home runs in his last 4 games, which is nice. So maybe he's breaking out. Wade LeBlanc is a guy that I always enjoy targeting. He's one of the worst pitchers in the history of the world. I have a hard time thinking he's going to get out of the 4th inning again today. Big T, Toronto. How juicy is this?
Man, the annoying part is why do they put Travis Shaw in the 3-hole? Like, it's just disgusting. I don't understand why teams do that. You have all these good righties, and you put Travis Shaw up in the 3-hole. Just disgusting. But, yeah, this stack looks good. I mean, you can go all the way down to even Drury, who's 2,700. I like guys like that. Super cheap that gets you Darvish in a good stack, good park. Everything kind of checks. And Toronto's been getting hot, too. Biggio, big game last night. Grichuk is always good against lefties. Vladdy, like you said, getting hot. I mean, I love Toronto. I don't know how you wouldn't. I mean, LeBlanc always has been one of those guys I feel like does it with mirrors. And it sucks, though, because they always somehow get out of these jams from just a total explosion. I don't know how they do it. But again tonight, I mean, Toronto looks like they're in a really good spot, so I have to like them.
Mangone, guys in the chat just loving that you're tournament Mangone now. You're not just boring cash Mangone.
People are going to love him so much more.
I mean,
man, yeah. You're going to love it here.
So sexy. I mean,
yeah.
He went up to the ladies and be like, I don't play cash anymore. I'm straight GPP.
Yeah. Let Titletown take over for boring Mangone. Titletown can take over as the cash.
I love GPP Mangone. This is so much fun. All right, so Toronto, and then flip me on Baltimore, too. I want to know your thoughts on the O's tonight.
I was going to say, as JJ says, Mangone plays cash games. Travis plays tournaments.
Travis.
He's out here playing tournaments. So, I'm out here playing tournaments today. And listen, and you can't say Big T influenced me here because I've been saying this on every show. I don't want to play the Blue Jays when they're against the righty. I want them against the lefty. Because these young righties, they'll smash him. And I'll even play Kevin Biggio at the top because people will say, I don't want to play him lefty. No, you could still play Kevin Biggio.
Where's our boy Teoscar, though?
Oh, I know, but that's the only thing that's terrible. Like, he's not in the lineup, and
Tell me how much better it would look with him in Shaw's spot. Like, we'd be so happy.
It'd be so good. I mean, what about Gurriel? I mean, we like Gurriel. He could be a little bit of a lefty masher.
I don't understand why he's not in the 3-hole. Like, the Shaw placement is just super annoying for me.
Yeah, Gurriel hasn't done shit, like, all year.
I would take you over Travis Shaw.
I don't blame you.
I mean, I don't mind Gurriel. I think he's a guy that could definitely hit one out. Is this a chat question? Who is Santiago Espinal? Is he Joe Adele?
I was scared to say something because everyone's going to make fun of me again, but I have no idea who that dude is.
You don't like Santiago Espinal?
What's he do?
I bet you Santiago Escargot gets at least 0.5% ownership tonight. Just telling you.
I don't know if I'll be on him, but the one problem with this lineup, I'll mention this. The one issue I have with it is I obviously want to play Vlad Guerrero Jr. I would love to play him, but I mean, there's a lot of first basemen I like on this slate. I'll probably get exposure. If I was playing like 1 to 3 lineups, it's a little bit tougher, but I do think he's in a really good spot and someone that I want to get exposure to. And one thing that's nice about this lineup is you get Danny Jansen there, and I'm not saying I'm huge Danny Jansen guy, but it's nice when you like a stack and you can get that catcher in there. And he's a decent price tag. It's not like he's 5K. Sure, I'd love to pay 5K for Real Muto, but it's not easy to do on this slate. And everyone's going to be paying down for a guy like a Travis d'Arnaud. He's going to be that cash game guy that everyone loves to play at the catcher because he's 3K in a good spot. And Danny Jansen, I think, could be an interesting option there on the Jays.
Hey, so let's look at the other side. Big T is, and thanks, Travis. Does anybody call you Travis? Like, I just learned that was your first name when Big T called you that. I just thought your name.
I didn't call him Travis. There's no way I called him Travis.
No,
I've never called him Travis in his life.
No. But
No.
apparently,
If anyone calls me, calls me Travis, he says, Big T always says, "Who's Travis?" Every single time.
I don't ever call anyone, but I've never called Hoop Mike. I don't call anyone by their first. I'd never do that.
I don't blame you. I like that philosophy. I mean, I just learned your name was Tony too. Like, I don't know, probably a couple of years ago, but still.
Usually it says Grayson on there. I'm surprised it says Tony. I don't know.
Grayson?
I didn't change it.
So what do you think of the O's, Tony?
So the O's, we kind of talked about it a little with Seattle. Like, this is a good example. I like Pearson a little bit, but Baltimore has been so good that I don't see how you don't play a little Baltimore. Like, if you're playing a bunch of teams, you have to have some Baltimore. It's gotten to that point, and it sounds crazy that I'm saying it, but I think you need some Baltimore every single day. Their offense has been really good, and Pearson has got hit pretty hard, even though we think he's talented. So for me, it's cut and dry. Yeah, if you're playing 10 teams, maybe play 2 Baltimore stacks or something. Nothing crazy, but definitely get some Baltimore exposure. And you can even put it with Toronto and just hope this game kind of explodes a little bit, which I think has a good chance of doing exactly that.
All right, guys, let's get moving a little bit. We still got 3 games to go. Milwaukee and Minnesota. Again, Milwaukee loves striking out. We talked about Maeda. Is anybody just do this? Is anybody playing any Brewers tonight? No? Yes? No. Nobody's doing it. So let's focus on the good team. Twins, of course, Nelson Cruz hit a home run off a left-hander. They got Corbin Burns tonight. This guy's a strikeout machine. It is the Twins, though. Normally, I always throw a Twins lineup in. I'm not going to bother with that tonight. It might be the wrong one, but God, and I should because this Brewers bullpen is just a disaster. All right, I just talked myself into another Twin stack, but Big T, the Twins, how high on your list?
Yeah, I'm not playing the Twins. Burns he's decent enough, and we like enough stacks. Again, Mangone kind of talked about it earlier in the show or before the show, whenever he was talking about it. How many stacks would I play if I'm playing? Like tonight, I'm putting 150 teams on FanDuel. I haven't been doing that, but I like the slate tonight, so I'm going to play 150. I'm still only going to play 4 to 5 teams, even all 150. I'm going to cycle it a bunch of directions and stuff. If you're playing 20 teams, I'd probably only play 3 or 4. So I can only go so deep. There's already a bunch of teams that we really liked. I don't want to get exposure to every team. I'm okay with that. If they go off and beat me, I'm okay with the variance. I'm embracing it for when our stacks do hit, we're going to crush. Minnesota just, I don't know. Like, I like Corbin Burns. He's not going to go deep, which doesn't make me want to play him necessarily. But I also think he can lock him down a little bit. I mean, they got a few bullpen guys that can come in and limit the damage. So I'm off this game.
All right, Mangone, where are you on the Twins?
Yeah, I mean, on the Twins, I'm just like, I mean, I get it. If you're like a Twins truther and you stack them up every day like you, Holden, I get it. If you want to go back to them, sure. Like, I'm not going to tell you not to play the Twins, but they're just not one of my favorite offenses. There's other routes I want to go, and, I'm just out on the Twins, I think, today. No need to go that route.
Makes a ton of sense. Detroit, the White Sox, we don't need to mess with the Tigers, do we? I mean, it's not like Dylan Cease is this amazing pitcher, but he did work on his spin rate in the offseason. He's gone 5 innings. It's just that this offense is so bad. Jacoby Jones, your best hitter, is hitting 7th today, so I don't know what the hell they're doing there. White Sox, on the other hand, the prospect, Skubal, I don't know how you guys handle it. Is there here? This is a game theory thing more than anything else. Tony, let's start with you here. Just like, how do you handle rookie pitchers going up against rookie pitchers? Is there any set way that you approach that, or you just look back at the minor league numbers and say, okay, here's the matchup?
I just kind of try to read up on them and see if I think they're talented, see what their price point is, see the matchup, try to weigh it all. And tonight, honestly, like, I don't think he's completely out of play. I mean, you look at him, he's super talented, can really get it up, but I mean, he's just not going to go deep enough to where I feel great about it. But just on talent, you kind of said it when you talked about him first. He can strike out 5 guys or something. Similar to, we were talking about that Mejia, his last start, where he went only like 2 innings or 3 innings, whatever it was, struck out 5 or 6. I could see that happening again, where he goes one time through the lineup, faces 9 guys, strikes out 5 or 6, and that'll be a good score tonight, I think, just because of the price point. But he's super risky. I mean, it is super risky. And the White Sox just rake. I mean, you look at this lineup. Luis Robert, with those 2 bombs last night, were nasty. This lineup is really good. You got James McCann back in the lineup, too, with lefty masher. I think, what's his name? Grandal got hurt last night. But James McCann comes in against a lefty. How do we not like the White Sox tonight, Mangone? Like, Timmy Anderson might be my favorite play on the entire slate. Coming off 2 bombs. He's always been a lefty masher. I don't see how anybody's better than him just as far as a one-off play.
Yeah, listen, this is why I talked about Didi earlier. Like, do I want to play Didi Gregorius? No, because I want to play Timmy Anderson, man. Like, I love Timmy Anderson in this spot. This lineup up and down, I love when the White Sox are hot. They are a hot and cold team. If the White Sox are not hitting the ball well, just take the pitcher against them if he's got some K upside. I think it's a perfectly good spot to always do that. But this is not the spot. The White Sox are hot right now. In tournaments, I'm going to have a lot of White Sox. Me and Big T, it sounds like if the White Sox have a lot of home runs, it sounds like me and Big T are going to be winning a ton of money. So I'm definitely in. Anderson, Moncada, Jose Abreu, you got Jimenez. It's always good when like a young player, now he's up to the 4 hole. Like, that's great for him. He's got all this confidence in the world. He's hitting the ball well. I'm perfectly fine with him. If you want to go in Edwin Encarnacion, you can perfectly go. I'm perfectly fine with you going him. Jose Abreu, I prefer more, but Edwin Encarnacion is a nice price tag at 3.9K. He's a great route to go. And this bottom of the lineup, me and Tony were talking about it the other day. Like, we're okay with playing Danny Mendick here because he's super cheap and he takes a position second base that we don't like to roster. I mean, we do not love second baseman that much on this slate. So just take the salary relief with him. It makes your White Sox stack a little bit unique. And then you get a guy like Luis Robert, who's 4.6K. People might not play him, but he's another amazing option. So up and down this lineup, I can't argue with the White Sox. They're such a good play. And that Detroit bullpen, you can't sit here and tell me that bullpen's good because I know it's not any good at all.
You're right. And you know what? You made some amazing points there, Travis. I think every day you need to go Travis from now on because you're just on fire. Hey, we got 115 likes. We need 35 more for you guys to get some swag. So if you haven't already hit the like button, just do it. And maybe you'll be the lucky one that wins the Run Pure Sports swag. So we got one more game. Let's get to this one. St. Louis and the Cubs. We don't need to talk about the Cardinals at all because they're going up against you, Darvish. Anything Cubs-wise, they're not doing it for me either against Ponce de Leon.
No, I'm off this game. Tony, do you got anything on this?
No, I mean, the pitchers, like, I'm definitely going to have both pitchers in the player pool, you and even De Leon. I mean, they're both good pitchers, really good pitching spot. Somewhat cold weather, wind blowing in. Easy pitcher spot for me. Like, I like you, Darvish, more, obviously, but the other dude, I'm definitely going to play some of him. And even on DK, both of them on the same team, and just it's one of my favorite moves. Hope it's just a 2-1 type game, which – honestly, I think it will be. So I like these 2 pitchers.
I like you guys calling the White Sox, too. There's really some bats there that you can kind of stock up on, a lot of right-handed bats.
So much upside.
I also wanted to thank you guys for your NBA content because I've cashed 3 straight days in NBA, and I'm not the NBA guy, you know?
Definitely going to cash today because the things are looking real good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, seriously. Like, I came over, I'm using the playbook and the core, and things are working out. It's helped with baseball, too. So everybody over here, I'm not just blowing you guys because this stuff works. This is, like, really good content. I'm impressed. All right, let's get to the stacks. Top 3 stacks. Travis.
Yeah, so definitely we're going White Sox number 1. I mean, we're going to go them as the number 1 stack for me. Tournaments, I love them. Dodgers will put 2. I mean, those are my favorite ones for sure. If you're playing cash games, this is Mangone stepping in. Play some Phillies, sure. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Travis is probably not going to play too many Phillies. Maybe I'll mix and match a couple here and there, but I'm not really loving them as much. I want to load up on these good bets. I want to be way overweight on the White Sox. That's my 1 and 2. And I'll give you my third is probably the Blue Jays. We'll go with them against Wade LeBlanc. We talked about Godley being a bad pitcher and attacking him. Let's not attack Godley. Let's attack Wade LeBlanc instead with this Blue Jays offense.
All right, Big T, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, just to agree with Mangone, like for sure my two favorites are the White Sox and the Dodgers, but just to get a little sneakier for my other two, I think we can go with Baltimore as one of our sneaky teams, just a perfect little stack, especially on FanDuel where you can just put four guys in there kind of with your other stack, like a Baltimore White Sox or a Baltimore Dodgers. I think that gets you really unique with some upside. So give me them, and then I obviously like Toronto too, but those would be my favorite spots.
Travis, what's your middle name?
Joseph. I was almost called TJ as a kid instead of Travis. So I almost went by TJ, but it didn't happen. I wasn't feeling it as like a kid. I told my mom no.
The next time you give some GPP cash hybrid, I'm going to have to go with the middle name. It's like you got a little Travis, you got a little Mangone, you got a little middle name. Home runs tonight, Mangone. I'm going with Jay Bruce. I already told you. That's my guy at the bottom of the Phillies lineup.
I like that call.
Yeah, I like that call. So we got to give 3 home runs. We'll go with let's go with a little Justin Turner on the Dodgers. I like him here in this spot. I think this is a good one for him. On the White Sox side, well, let's go with Mr. Eloy Jimenez. I'm a big fan of him. I'm going to be all over him in this one. We'll also go with let's go with Mr. Moncada. I love Moncada. Maybe I stole that one from Tony, but like him too. Definitely think we're going to get a lot of home runs from the White Sox, and I'm going to ride this home run streak they got going.
Tony.
So last night I got made fun of because Moncada's my favorite. I don't play him against lefties though, so he's going to be where I'm different in this stack. He hit a bomb last night off a lefty, so everyone was making fun of me. I'm not coming back with him. He will be the one guy that I'll have some because I'm playing 150 teams, but if I was playing just one team, I'd fade Moncada and play all these righties because I love all these righties. But bombs, definitely Timmy Anderson, definitely Soto. I mean, Soto hits one every single night. And then for the Dodgers, give me Chris Taylor. I'll take a Chris Taylor bomb.
Why? Just the matchup?
He's going to hit one is why.
All right. That's hitters hit.
And hitters hit and winners win.
Winners win. It's as simple as that. We're Big T. You learn these things very quickly.
What was that saying? Hold on real quick. What was that saying Hoop said, Big T, on one of those shows? He said, like,
he said, you just score the most points and you win.
It was so good.
Easy.
Score the most points.
No, he like broke it down though with the whole set. He was like, yeah, so when the slate starts, none of the prices matter anymore, and you just got to score the most points.
It was so good.
He's got a point. He's got a point, guys. Travis, where do they find you on Twitter, man?
Yeah, you can find me at Travis Mangone on Twitter, and you can always find me doing content at Run Pure Sports, guys. Come check it out. We got tons of awesome content here.
Might as well, Big T. Everybody follows you anyways. How do they find you?
BigT 44 DFS. Yeah, and check us out over at Run Pure. We got even the bet side. We got a bunch of good stuff going on. So
yep, no doubt about it. I'm at Holden Radio. Captain, thanks for the help. Travis, Big T, awesome show. We'll catch you tomorrow here on Run Pure Sports and swing for the fences.